How you think I'm trying to get us shut down, man? We starting, we live, we in this thing, we making it happen. I'm just using a little bit of ESPN music. I mean, it's the college football playoff show, so I decided I would just take a little bit of it. But this is the Just North Sports Show. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Come on in and sit down, have a seat with us, and we're going to discuss the college football semifinal, Final Four. Check us every Friday night. You know what it is. You know what time it is, where we at, what we do. It's Anchor, FM, Spotify, Google, and Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcast, YouTube channel. And in the description on the Facebook page, the Just North Sports Show. Hope everybody had a good Christmas. And as we look forward to the new year, I want to talk about one thing first, because I realized I made a horrible mistake. I picked Denver to go 14-3. and Nathaniel Hackett got fired. And they on the hook for $290 million with Russell Wilson. So we already know that. Man.
Hey man, this is what I was wondering. Did somebody spike your drink when you made that pick at the beginning of the season?
Man, I don't know what, man. Nathaniel Hackett, man, I don't know.
I knew it wasn't gonna work. I mean, it's too many moving parts. You got new ownership, new GM, and new coach. It's too much. You got
Real question I had is, how did Nathaniel Hackett end up with that job anyways? I mean, he offensive coordinator with Aaron Rodgers for a little bit, and then bang, they give him the keys to them.
That was the goal. The goal was to get Aaron there because he didn't want to go back to Green Bay. But all through, so now you up here scrambling because you ain't got nothing. Scrambling, and the only thing out there was Russell Wilson. I think Russell Wilson done. I mean, I might be wrong. He might come out next season balling, but I think he done.
I was just gonna ask, like, what is wrong with him, man? Like, is Nathaniel Hackett's offense that much more advanced, or what? I mean, he just looks horrible. Like, he doesn't know where to throw the ball, or he just looks really bad, man. Like, I don't understand it.
The answer is he's just an average quarterback. Period. Nothing great, nothing special. He's an average quarterback, and I'm not knocking him. You know, I mean,
right?
The dude, he won, but he's just an average quarterback.
Would it be safe to say he's always been just an average quarterback?
Yeah.
And now it's being exposed even more.
I won't say it's being exposed, because if you actually go back to when they were the Legion of Boom, what was he really doing then? Was he putting up numbers that were off the game?
Yeah.
I mean, you got a defense like that. I mean, you could play decent with a defense like that and not turn the ball over. Yeah, everybody gonna think you all world, but
to me, he was an upgraded Flacco. Is it Flacco for the Ravens? Ravens had him. That's basically what he's a better version of Flacco with a defense.
I mean, because he got the weapons in Denver with Judy and I forget the other receiver. He got the weapons. Now he don't have a running game. He ain't got no running game.
Cortland Sutton. He's got Cortland Sutton. Sutton's a big target. I think the running game let him down too. Williams from North Carolina got hurt, and then they had Melvin Gordon for backup.
They cut him, little hands. They
had to get rid of him. I don't know, but like you said, I think it was just kind of the perfect storm situation, because Seattle was a running team anyways. It was beast mode and a Legion of Boom. You know, you go back and look at the 2014 NFC Championship. That was all beast mode. Because they couldn't do nothing with Colin Kaepernick. Not when he was moving. Not when he was on the move. They really couldn't do nothing with it. They just couldn't stop beast mode. And once beast mode got going, the tides of that game turned. But they didn't win that game because of beast mode. Matter of fact, they lost the Super Bowl because they didn't get a ball to beast mode. But Nathaniel Hackett is out of there. The Vikings keep on winning. I was pulling for them Giants to go and knock them out that number 2 slot. they keep on winning. They pulled it on off and made that thing happen. So it looked like they're in the number 2 seed right now. But surprisingly and shockingly and stunningly, almost, it's like, hold on, wait a minute. If you mean to tell me if Green Bay loses out and the Commanders lose one game, Green Bay is going to the playoffs? What?
That's crazy. That's crazy.
What?
They still in the mix?
Huh? So
that thing, man.
I think we ain't doing no predictions on that particular game, but it wouldn't be so far-fetched to say Minnesota kind of like, we're in the playoffs, let's not get nobody hurt. And Green Bay kind of like, hey, let's get in the playoffs. It wouldn't surprise me if Minnesota was just like, let's just go play this game at Lambeau and get up out of here. We ain't worried about that scope. And if Green Bay wins, I mean, that's still Aaron Rodgers, yo. That's still Aaron Rodgers. So, like with Tom Brady in the Buccaneers situation, they're going to win a pretty bad NFC South division by default. But at the end of the day, you still got Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady. And if one thing a quarterback can do is get hot and win 3 games, they're very capable. You're not going to tell me that Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady are not capable of getting hot and getting their team to winning 3 games and getting their team to the Super Bowl. I would take Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady over the rest of the field in the NFC as far as quarterbacks are concerned, including Jalen Hurts.
Well, guess who's going to be drawing if it started today, and it's going to pretty much end like this. The Cowboys going to draw the Bucks.
They'll draw the Bucks, correct.
And that game is going to be in Tampa because the only way Tampa get in is winning that division. That's it.
That's you have
to go to Tampa and get a dub.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy to me. If it ended today, 49ers would host the Giants. Dangerous team. Just because that could be dangerous.
They never beat them in the playoffs. 49ers.
I don't know if the Giants would be a dangerous opponent for the 49ers.
Is that what you're saying?
I'm not worried about the Giants.
Yeah, that's no threat there, buddy. Daniel Jones to that 49er defense? Oh, no way.
All right. What about the 90 49ers? Ain't nobody see Montana losing that game.
Yeah,
the 86 49ers. Ain't nobody
see. I know what you're saying, but it's the 2022 49ers, not the 1990 49ers.
85 San Francisco.
They don't have the number 1 defense in the land for nothing.
I think 2011 San Francisco lost at home. 85 they lost against the Giants.
So that's the Giants in the playoffs. That's fast.
That's a tough matchup.
So if it shake out like that, I know I picked the 49ers, but they cannot face the Giants in these playoffs. They cannot do it.
I'm looking at a big game this week in the NFL, and it's on the AFC side. So we got a 3-dog race for that number 1 seed. That's Cincinnati, Kansas City, and Buffalo. Buffalo at 12-3, Kansas City's at 12-3, and Cincinnati's at 11-4. Thank you, Baltimore, for playing around like you did last year and losing 4 games. Which Baltimore should be 14 and. No, they lost 3 games. They should have lost. Don't y'all know Baltimore should be 13-2 right now? But playing around,
you could easily be up out of there. But
playing around and
they're gonna find themselves out because
they can find themselves.
Even though the Raiders lost to the Steelers, they still in it.
Yeah,
because they got a better conference record than everybody.
Baltimore could easily lose against Pittsburgh. That's a rivalry game.
Oh yeah, they're gonna lose.
The thing about this Cincinnati,
they done. They out if they lose.
The thing about this Cincinnati game is it's in Ohio. So Buffalo goes to Cincinnati, they lose. Buffalo and Kansas City lose. Cincinnati now becomes the number 1 seed because they beat Kansas City and Buffalo, and they all got the same record. So that means everything can end up going through Cincinnati, which I predicted wouldn't even make the playoffs this year. I thought they would have a Super Bowl hangover. But
hey, you can't be wrong though. I mean, look how they didn't look like they were gonna make the playoffs, did they?
Now they started 0-2, and Baltimore was 2-0. And I was like, okay, if Baltimore can just keep winning, then Cincinnati ain't no catching. But Baltimore lost against the Giants, had a lead. Lost against the Buffalo, had a lead. Lost against the Jacksonville had to leave. Yeah, lost against Cleveland. Had to leave. Baltimore then lost like 4 games. Lost against the Dolphins.
Every game the Titans done lost like 5 in a row.
Every game Baltimore lost, they was winning at one point, like big, like double digits.
Who's that?
Tennessee, because Jacksonville in college.
Jacksonville's in first place.
That's terrible.
That's crazy.
I mean, it's not. Well, no, honestly, it's not hard to be in first place in that division, though.
Well, I thought both teams are 7 and 8.
I thought now okay.
Denver, Tennessee at one point was what, about 6 and 2 or?
Yes, Tennessee at one point
5 games.
7 and 3, 5 and 2, something like that. They was looking pretty good. I would say Indianapolis disappointed me more than Denver. I could kind of see what Denver was. It's a lot of new parts, but Indianapolis has been a good team the last 2 seasons. And you think Matt Ryan got something left in the tank? That bro ain't got nothing left in the tank.
No,
and then
done.
He been benched twice.
Yeah, that's enough to go ahead and sign
him benched twice, man.
Like Usher says, signing papers.
Yeah,
he don't sign them, hang it up papers, buddy.
He took bro.
Retirement papers.
Yes, yeah, sign papers, but it's a wrap.
Do y'all think he Hall of Fame?
Hell no.
I'm gonna say
no.
Nah.
Listen, man. Hey, like we discussed the other day, dog. Deion Sanders got it right. The Hall of Fame has a bunch of people in the Hall of Fame that don't need to be in the Hall of Fame. They are not elite caliber guys. The Hall of Fame is supposed to be a special place. When you look at the Hall of Fame, you're supposed to be looking at guys like, ooh.
He just on the Matt Ryan he's like the Danny White, the Ron Jaworski. Like, you know what I mean? They like good quarterbacks, and with a good team around them, they might make it to the Super Bowl or the conference championship. The Eagles made it. Danny White made the 3 straight, but he just I wouldn't put him in. What is something to keep an eye on is Lane Johnson is out for the remainder of the season, regular season, with a torn pectoral issue. That's one of the best. Lane Johnson. That's the Eagles' right guard, left guard. So that's a big loss.
That's big.
Jalen Hurts shoulder a little bit messed up, and I think in all actuality, Philly was just kind of like, let's just go to Dallas and play this game and get up out of here, because exactly what happened, they didn't want to happen. They didn't want to get people hurt, and Lane Johnson went down. So that could be that could be some trouble. Losing one of your better offensive linemen. He's a Pro Bowler, so they lost him. I'm not going to say they don't have other pieces and other players, but keep an eye on Philadelphia's, conserving energy, trying not to get people hurt going down the stretch. And then you got to think about it too. If you set Jalen Hurts the rest of this week, the rest of next week, then you got to buy. And he didn't play last week. That could be a lot to ask for him to come back after 5 weeks sitting down playing a hot Cowboys team or a hot 49ers team. That could be – it come back to bite you. It's got this good energy.
The Cowboys getting out the first round.
That's kind of backed up, man.
If I'm the Cowboys, I lose some games because they got to get out that 5th seed. They got to get out that seed because they're not beating Tampa. They're not beating them. Tampa got their number.
Hold on, Grease. I'm gonna have to disagree with you, man. This might sound odd that I'm disagreeing with you, but let's ask yourself this: has Tom Brady really been looking like the Tom Brady that we used to seeing?
Yeah, it's not just
the Cowboys can't play some defense now.
Didn't they play week 1? The Bucks and Cowboys.
Listen, man, that's week 1.
Brady beat them 2 years in a row. Week 1.
Listen, week 1, we trying to put it all together. That's all it is.
Oh well, shit.
That's all it is. We trying to put it together.
Brady week 1, then in them playoffs, you don't want that smoke.
Hey man,
I wouldn't want that smoke. Now if it's Aaron Rodgers, man, ain't worried about that. He gonna do what he gonna do.
Man, I'm not sold on Brady
there, but they'll flame out.
Brady looking like he need to go and sit his ass down somewhere.
Hey, he might, but I lose some games to get out that slot. I'm not trying to see Brady.
Get out there. Get out there.
No. They got the next coming to Lawrence Taylor. What they running from?
Well, hold on.
What they running from? They got the next coming to Lawrence Taylor right there on their squad. Why they running?
Hold on. Let's take a look at this. So if Dallas lose, their best bet is to fall all the way to the 7th seed. And well, they can't.
So they can drop to 6. They can drop 6.
Well, if they drop 6, then they go into Levi. They go into Santa Clara. You don't want to play them 49ers either.
Oh, if they drop to the 49ers are the 2nd seed. So
they're the 3. 49ers are the 3. The Giants keep the Vikings won again. That's why I wanted the Vikings to lose.
Well, it don't matter. It don't matter.
Yeah.
Hey, in the grand scheme of things, as long as the Cowboys don't win the Super Bowl, I don't give a damn what seed they in.
Yeah.
So basically, right now the Vikings will get the Giants, and we just saw what that was. That could be it, man.
2 verse 7. 2 verse 7. Yeah, the Vikings would get the. Yeah, the Vikings would get the Giants.
No, 2 and 7. Oh, no. 7. Yeah, the Vikings and
7 is
right. Vikings and the Skins.
Or Packers. Or Packers. That's right. Packers. That's right. Or Packers. That's right.
I don't see the Redskins flank. Man, Redskins about to wrap that up.
They I think they waited too late to put old buddy in there. He should have been starting. You mean he took you to the playoffs twice already. I don't understand some of these coaches. This dude didn't took you to the playoffs twice already, and you steady trying to replace him. And you started off 1-4 this year, and you put him in. He won 6-7 ball games in a row. Why are you trying to replace the dude? It's obvious that the team responds to him, and he may not be no top 5 quarterback, but the team responds to you winning more with him under center than you are. Stop trying to replace him. If you'd have left the dude alone,
they better offensively with him and McLaurin, and they just look better offensively.
If you would have left the dude alone at 4 years ago when he won 6 games in a row, you'd be looking at 11-5 quarterback or 12-4 quarterback, but you just keep messing with stuff and trying to bring in all these veterans, and it ain't working. So that's some Daniel Snyder, Ron Rivera stuff going on. But that NFL it's gonna be what it's gonna be. But we're gonna talk a little college football, man. We got the Michigan Wolverines, Texas Christian, and we got Georgia, them Dogs against the Buckeyes, and we got about 50 other college bowl games, which I'm probably only gonna watch 2 other than the semifinals. I'll watch the Rose Bowl just because it's the granddaddy. And they keeping it kind of traditional. It's the Pac-10 winner versus the Big Ten winner. So they keeping it kind of traditional. I'm old school. Give it to me old school. So I'm gonna watch that, and I'm gonna watch the Orange Bowl just because it's Clemson and Tennessee, and I like the Orange Bowl game. I'll check out the Cotton Bowl a little bit too, but all this other Mediterranean, libertarian, ask.com, cheese, man, ain't nobody watching all that mess.
The Pillsbury Dough Bowl.
Yeah, get me to September. Get me to the 31st, New Year's Eve, and Georgia and Ohio State. But the first game gonna be Michigan and TCU. I think that's in the Fiesta Bowl. Man, I know Michigan lost Blake Corum and TCU. They got the quarterback Max 15. I call him 15 Max.
Let's go blue.
He balling. He doing his thing. They got a pretty good combination going on. Man, I think Michigan's just a more complete ball club. I think they're better coached. I think they got better athletes. I think TCU had the luxury of playing in a weaker conference. Not to say that the Big Ten is Armageddon, but it's a lot of games I saw TCU probably should have lost, and I don't see them coming back on let's just face it, Michigan is a well-coached team with Jim Harbaugh. They fall down 14, 15 points to this one. It could get ugly. I don't think I think they'll keep it close just because they got some fight, and that's their story. They've been coming back all year. If I was just to say a score, man, I would say Michigan will win it by 10. Give me the Wolverines 27. Give me TCU 17 in this one. I think Michigan advances to the national championship game January 9th. I think they get it done against TCU. Nice story in Fort Worth, but it comes to the end Saturday.
Yeah, I'm really excited about this matchup, man. I mean, I think they're both evenly matched. But I think the only difference, I think Michigan, they have a better McCarthy's a little bit better passer to me, and he can also get out, run outside the pocket, and I also think they're better at the offensive line. So I'm gonna go with Michigan in a close game. I'm gonna say 33-26.
Dang.
What you think, King?
Okay, well, I guess it's on me.
Yeah.
Here's the one thing that scares me about this game. If TCU can come out and play defense the way they played against Texas, that will be the difference in the game, man. That will be the difference in the game. And I remember I was sitting watching the Ohio State-Michigan game. It was like we couldn't get the running game going, and we were struggling. It was like, oh my God, y'all, come on. But then we started getting a little bit played. We got some big passing plays, huge passing. I mean, like we had like three touchdowns over 70 yards, 60 yards, and that opened up that running game. We got a little more breathing room to run. But I really feel like if TCU plays defense the way they played against Texas, this is going to be a closer game. I mean, like it might be 7-3. I mean, not the score 7-3, but it might be a 7-point victory or a 3-point victory if they play the way they played against Texas, man. But y'all know damn well I ain't taking no TCU. Shout out to moms for the bag. You know what it is. Let's go blue. 28-14. And I'm really being nice because I wanted to say 35-14. But I'm gonna give TCU a little more credit than that. They've been playing this year, but yeah, 28-14, Big Blue.
Yeah, I don't like the fact of it's too many weeks off, and these games could go either way. I'm gonna roll with Michigan, but I don't feel comfortable with it. I really don't. It could go the other way real quick, and just because Michigan jumps out to a lead, that purple magic gonna put them boys right back in TCU. If I had to go with a score, I would say 28, or better yet, 31-28 Michigan. 31-28.
Yeah, and like I said, I can see that. I mean, we saw it all season with TCU, man. It's like they were down, but they were never out of the game. I mean, what they have, like 5 comeback wins. So this game
just about every game.
But it ain't no way I'm picking TCU over my squad. That ain't happening, buddy. And honestly, I think Michigan got something to prove this year. After the way they got thumped last year, they got something to prove. And the craziest thing about it is, it would be crazy to see an Ohio State Michigan national championship.
I don't want to see that, man.
That would be wild.
I don't want to see that. I want them.
Hey, you know why would be wild? Because that would be ultimate bragging rights. Period. Like, okay, y'all beat us 8 times in a row. Yada yada yada. We beat y'all in the national championship, bro. That'll trump any. I beat you head to head. That'll trump all that. Like I kicked your butt in the game that mattered the most. But then again, I can't front. I want them to get their pay. I want them to get their lick back from that Georgia loss. So
yeah, that's what I'm waiting.
Yeah, I want them to get their lick back.
That's what I'm waiting on.
Yeah, they got to get their lick back.
Right.
Man, I don't know. I don't know if Georgia gonna make it. I don't know. I mean, they're not playing no cream puff.
Listen, but all these games could go either way because nobody. How long they been off? A month? Maybe that was probably longer than that.
We might mess around and get an Ohio State TCU.
Yeah, that'd be crazy as hell too. If we get that, it's definitely go Horned Frogs for sure.
Right.
It'll never be go Buckeyes. Never.
I don't know about the next game that Michigan and not Michigan, Georgia and TCU. Yeah, I don't know about that one.
Honestly, it might sound crazy, but I think Ohio State and Georgia are pretty even teams. I don't think one is that much top heavier or bottom heavier than the other.
I think Georgia got Georgia got a better defense.
How much better are we talking?
A lot better, considering how Michigan was not known as an offensive juggernaut, and they put up almost 50 on Ohio State. And that was the Ohio State weakness last year, and Michigan exploited again. I think Ohio State, they can probably put it like this: their receivers and their passing game matches up. They have what it takes to exploit Georgia's defense, but I don't know about if up front they can hold off for Stroud to put up those type of numbers without being under a lot of stress from that pass rush. And on the offensive side on the defensive side of the ball, I mean, we know Georgia, it's not like they got Herschel Walker and Garrison Hurst back there, but man, I don't think Georgia can. I mean, I don't think Ohio State can stop anybody. I want to say it would be nice. It would be a nice story. It would be the game of the century of all time to see Michigan, Ohio State duke that thing out for the national championship. But I don't think Ohio State is going to beat Georgia. Matter of fact, I'm going to go and put it out there. I think Georgia beat them boys by 2 touchdowns just because Ohio State can't stop nobody. That was the key to Ohio State whole season. If you improve on defense with the offense that you got, I mean, Stroud's a pro quarterback, got Harrison, got three wide receivers that's going to the NFL. You got 2 running backs that's possibly going to the NFL. Probably some offensive linemen, but the key was defense, and it just didn't. Brent Venables, it didn't work. So I don't see them stopping Georgia. And Stetson Bennett ain't Dan Marino. So what that tell you?
Yeah, I think honestly, fellas, I think the Buckeyes, they're like one of the softest teams I've never seen a Buckeyes team this soft. Like in the trenches, like they don't have any good pass rushers.
Nope.
I mean, their linebackers they're always out of position.
Yep.
And their DBs, I mean, they just give up huge plays.
Huge.
And so, I mean, and Georgia, they're just complete all around.
Mm-hmm.
And I see Georgia blowing them out. 48-27 is the score I got.
Yeah. So both of y'all giving Georgia the high praise. So how y'all feel about the Georgia-Michigan matchup in the national championship? Is it a blowout? I think it'll be a better matchup than last year, but I'm still taking Georgia to win it.
Georgia looks just superior. Look like they're just the best team in college football. And for the better part of 2 years, it's been Georgia. I mean, they've only lost 1 game, and that's against Alabama. So, out of the last, 27 ball games, you only lost against Alabama, and that was basically in the SEC championship game, which you knew you was going to the college football playoffs. So it's kind of like I still think Kirby Smart didn't show everything. He had nothing to play for. So they could probably very well be on their way to a 28-29 game winning streak. And in this era of college football, that's unbelievable. I just think Georgia they on a different level. They just on a different level. I know I picked Tennessee to win the East. That didn't materialize. If you go back and you look at that game, Tennessee lost that game when they created a turnover and they kicked the field goal. After that, I don't even remember much about that game. I know Georgia scored a touchdown. Tennessee got the ball back. It was kind of the same thing as last year. Once Georgia get on top of you, it's like they on top of you, bro. You might as well shut it down. They just going to cut you. It's not like Georgia. You never – against subpar opponents, you never see – Georgia just kind of – they'll knock a subpar opponent out. Let me take that back. But against everybody else, like the big game, against kind of like the LSU game, the Alabama game, the Kentucky game, it's just kind of like Georgia. They just jab you. They jab you here, they hit you in the stomach here, and they jab you here. And by the time the third quarter comes, you ain't got no win. You're out of breath. And then that allows their 4 and 5 star athletes on defensive line to get after you. Like Stetson Bennett, I don't even see this guy being a pro quarterback.
No.
I think they got one person that the guy on the tight end. It's like he jumps out. Okay, this guy could be a pro player. Like you can see, he's got a little bit of George Kittle in him. Ain't no say Kelsey, but he's got a little bit of Kittle in him. He could be a good tight end. He's pretty tough to bring down. But the receivers, there's no AJ Green out there. No running backs. There's no Garrison Hurst. There's no Terrell Davis. I mean, there's no Todd Gurley. Yeah, but they just play well, and it's a bunch of them. That's the main thing. Mm-hmm. I agree with the Juice Man. This is one of the soft Ohio State teams. There's no Antoine Winfield. There's no Sean Springs. There's no Mike Doss. There's no Andy Casimore. I mean, There's no
been hard.
there's no Chase Young. There's no Chris.
What'd you say, Greasy? What'd you say, Greasy?
I said, had they ever been hard? I mean,
there's no Big Daddy.
A long time.
In the 90s, 80s, and 90s, they were. I mean, they've always had good defenses.
There's no big. They can't stop nobody. There's no Big Daddy Dan Wilkerson. Like I said, no Springs, no Winfield, no Dawes, no Chris Gamble. They don't have those players. No Big Cass.
Out here, man. I always tell my some Sean Spring.
They don't. It's not there. It's not there. And like I was saying at the beginning of the year, I was like, man, if Ohio State can get a top 10 national defense, they're gonna be trouble. Well, as you can see,
what did they rank in defense?
Brent Venables is the defensive coordinator, and he's supposed to be a defensive mastermind. And you would think with just the talent that they have, that he could put something together, especially playing. But like I said, Michigan did the same thing they did last year. They just kept running the ball up, and as soon as Ohio State couldn't stop the run. As soon as they got their secondary and linebackers out of position where they had to drop into the box, it was pitching.
No, what honestly, what happened in that game, Jones, was they gave up 3 touchdowns over 60 yards, bro.
Yeah, it was all passes.
That opened up the run game for us a whole lot better because we were struggling in that first half, man. We couldn't move the ball at all on the ground.
All right.
It was a tough one. I was like, come on, y'all.
Yeah, I got Georgia in this one. I got Georgia 31. I got Ohio State 21. I think, like I said, Stroud and Harrison and some of those other receivers, some of the weapons, they got what it takes to put some points up because that's a pro passing attack. And like I said, you got 3 NFL players on there, but the defense ain't gonna stop them. And then once Georgia gets you down by 10 points, they just gonna unleash the pass rush. And Georgia has more 5-star defensive linemen than Ohio State has 5-star offensive linemen. And eventually Stroud, the time gonna run out. He's gonna be under too much duress to pull that comeback out. So with that being said, I got Michigan and Georgia, and if it came down to it again,
man, we getting our lick back.
we
getting our lick back, homie.
It ain't happening. It ain't happening. Georgia just, I don't see it. I don't see it. I don't see Michigan now. No, I don't see that lick back, man. If that game happens, I'll get into more of a while, but just preliminary, just looking at it, no, man. As good as Michigan, I think they're a little bit better this year. They'll be more well coached, but Georgia just might be on a. And here's the thing about Georgia, and I'm gonna wrap this point up, my point up at least, is that Georgia, it's not flashy. It's not 87 Miami or 85 Oklahoma with bars, not 95, 96. Cornhuskers. It's certainly not the 2001 Canes. It's not 97 Michigan with Charles Woodson doing everything. It's not Reggie Bush and Leinart. It's not Vince Young. It's just like Georgia just beating the brakes off people. Let's go home. You know what I'm saying? It's just like we better. If we line up and we play our game, we're gonna beat you. And that's just by running the ball every now and then, bending the run out, and he'll make a play. And other than that, it's like I don't even remember none of the starting wide receivers for Georgia this year or last year. I don't remember none of them.
If you know what, look at these stats. These teams really match.
They had George Pickens, the receiver.
George Pickens.
That's about the only one I remember.
And they had Dalvin Cook, younger brother. And then they got Stetson Bennett, and they got a tight end this year. And Jordan Davis and Kobe Dean gone.
Yeah.
And they doing the same thing they did last year, which is just basically, you can't whoop us. Not for 4 quarters, you can't. You can wrap that up. You can't whoop us. Like, we bigger, we stronger, we faster. And when this first team do get tired, we're going to bring in our second string, and he's just as good.
Y'all know what?
9 times out of 10 of the colleges can't match up with it.
Y'all know what? I'm looking at these stats. I don't like them.
Uh-oh.
I don't like them. I don't like this at all. And I'm looking at the point spread. I don't like this. Let me get the Buckeyes. I don't like it.
I'm telling y'all.
I don't like this. I don't like it. I mean,
I see it.
It's too much. I don't
don't
like
even really
that's all I'm
have
gonna say. I ain't gonna go into detail, but let me get Ohio State. Let me get Ohio State by a point or 2. 28-27 or something, or 21-20 or 2017. You know, something weird. Give me the Buckeyes. I like the Buckeyes in this.
Let me throw this in the mix. The question
hold on, one more thing.
Go ahead.
Georgia hasn't faced a quarterback like this all season. Or they haven't faced a wide receiver like this all season. I'm going with the Buckeyes. Now, will they beat Michigan? I'm gonna revisit that later. Yeah, I'm going with Ohio State in this one.
Yeah, I'm taking an upset too, and it's just a question of, can Georgia's defense outlast Ohio State's offense? I mean, they're aggressive, and you know what happens when you get aggressive? You get beat.
But Georgia don't blitz that much. They blitzed Alabama because of Bryce Young, but they don't because of Bryce Young, and that was kind of like they had to. But more likely than not,
Curtis
Smart gonna let his front four do what he do. They had to get out to Bryce Young because Bryce Young's he's just a different animal.
But do they man
or zone on that same level as Bryce Young?
Who? Who?
What did he say? I missed it.
So you don't think Stroud is on that same level?
Not as elusive. He's got a better pro arm, but not as elusive.
So there you go.
Yeah,
so the question is,
he ain't no slouch.
Can Ohio State's offense outlast Georgia's defense?
Well, from what I've seen, Stroud is not going to beat you with his leg like Bryce Young. Bryce Young won that Texas game because of his legs. He made the play to beat the Longhorns. That made a post about it big time. If not for that play, Texas would have beat him. I haven't seen Stroud do it. He can run. Yeah, he can take out running, but I'm talking like, okay, it's 3rd down and 6. It's 26-24. If we get this 3rd down and 4, we're in field goal range, and you sitting back in a shell or cover 3, and you know what I'm saying? You got to get this 8-9 yards to get in the field goal range. Like Stroud can do it. I haven't seen him do it. I've seen Bryce Young do it, which made Georgia blitz. That's the point I'm trying to get to.
Has he had to do it though? Is the question.
Not really. Nope.
So
he didn't. He really didn't have to because, like I said, I mean, he could run against the Michigan, but you was already down by 24 points. So you should be running out there trying to act like Michael Vick and Vince Young combined and getting yourself hurt. You should have been playing defense, and you wouldn't have to worry about it. So
when was the last time a Heisman Trophy winner besides Joe Burrow has won the national title?
Derrick Henry.
Did they win that year?
Yeah, Derrick Henry.
Who else?
Devontae.
There was a lot of people from Oklahoma that won it.
Devontae Smith. I can think of Derrick Henry and Devontae Smith. Woodson did it.
Didn't Tebow win it?
Tebow did it.
Yeah, Tebow did.
Tebow did it. Woodson did it.
Herschel won. So when Herschel won,
Herschel did it. Dorset did it.
When Herschel won, if I'm not mistaken, when Herschel won, that previous year they won the title, the Bulldogs. Now, the year he won, that was the year Penn State got after him or Notre Dame beat him in the Sugar Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, but I like the Buckeyes in this. I'm not being a Georgia hater. I just don't like what I see.
Right on.
But I don't think. But like I said, if they beat them, if Ohio State beats them, I'm really looking at Michigan winning the whole thing.
Okay.
I'm really looking at that because Michigan looked like a damn juggernaut for real. With that running and the passing.
It's hard to beat the team twice, man. The same season, beat the team twice. That's tough.
I mean, Alabama dusted us off twice in 1 year, so I ain't tripping. It can happen.
Look, I wouldn't care if it was Ohio State 3 times in a row. I'm taking Michigan all 3 games.
Yeah, I really like the way the Wolverines are looking. Georgia has some formidable opponents. Really, the only test they really had this year was Tennessee. That LSU team.
Could you really call it a test though? Because Tennessee's defense is terrible. Their defense is not good at all.
That too.
So how much?
And see, we were saying that about Tennessee. They really got to get on top of people, and they didn't get on top.
They're not up. Then you can forget about it because that defense is that's horrible.
Yeah,
we talked about it in the Alabama game. They blitzed like 70%, 80% of the game, and I don't even think they got 2 sacks the whole game, but they blitzed the whole game.
They lost to Alabama, didn't they? Tennessee?
No. Tennessee beat Alabama.
No, Tennessee won.
Oh, okay.
They won late.
Yeah, they won. But the only reason why they won is because they got up on Alabama. They was dropping them bombs on Alabama. It was 5 Hooker threw for 5 touchdowns.
Oh yeah, that's right.
But we all saw the defense though. That defensive line got 0 push.
They did.
None of those blitzes got back there. They were blitzing hard and heavy. And it was like, good Lord, why do you keep blitzing, bro?
Man, but like I said, man, just like that, college football all over with, man.
Yeah, it's gonna be done, man.
Man, it seems like I said, bro, we just started. College football get on to it, and they get on down. And we're going to watch them semifinals, and we'll be back next week. And we're going to talk a little NBA basketball, a little college basketball, and then we're going to break down the college football national championship, whoever that may be. This is the Just North Sports Show. Y'all check us every Friday night. That's 8 p.m. Anchor, Spotify, Google, Apple, Podbean, Podstream. Man, we're all over the place. I keep Googling, and we just keep popping up, and I just keep getting emails about claim your podcast. Is too much. I might have to give me an assistant or something. But yeah, we're gonna check that out. And then we got the NFL playoffs coming around. It's finna get real interesting around here as far as these analyzations and picks go. But nonetheless, we're gonna keep this show right on rolling. This Doc Producer, man, we out. M Greasy done. Coach DJ King, Dre, Juice Man, the Boogie. We'll catch y'all next time. We'll holler.